And good morning, everybody. Another build that I previously featured. My version of the MPC squad rod. And here it is. So yeah, originally I was just going to leave it the blue. This build kind of has interesting backstory. So a couple of years ago in the winter, I got bored and I wanted to do a build. So I started painting it to me a light blue, and the paint rushed. So I had like a half a can of pearl clear, Tamiya pearl clear, and so I just went to town on it. I just sprayed it, and it came out nice and clean and nice paint job. Excuse me. So then I went to the interior, and I was going to paint the interior white. So I rattle canned the white, and because this particular kit is molded in black, the black mold, the color black that's molded into the plastic kept coming through the white. And so I came up with this idea. So I thought, well, I'll just two-tone it. You know, 1970s cars were always kind of loud anyway, in terms of colors and decals, that kind of thing. And so I was going to leave it blue after I completed it, leave it as a civilian car. And the wheels and tires are from the MTL Camino kit. They were an option. And then the engine and transmission are 350 LT1 from the AMT 70Z28. And then the air cleaner and headers are from the Rebel 69 Nova. So those are the kit bashed parts. And so again, I was just going to leave it blue, and then a coworker liked the police livery. I had showed him online, so I thought, well, what the heck, may as well use it. It might kind of tie the odd colored interior together. And so it sat on my shelf after that as a police car. And for the last year, or over a year now, I just want to, again, like many of my builds, I'll look at it and I'll be like, something's missing. Something's just not tying it together. And because I'm in a cold climate, I couldn't really do a lot of painting this summer. We had a wet, damp summer, so I only got a couple of new builds done this spring, past spring. And so I thought, well, I'll tinker with this existing kit. And so that's what I did. And then I came up with the idea of painting the spokes on the wheels blue to match the color on the interior. And then I also thought, well, to tie it together more, I'll paint the B-pillars. So after I got all the paint on, I cleaned up all the lines, made sure they're nice and even as I could get them. And voila, so this is it. And you know, it's a fun build. The reason why I originally wanted to make it a civilian model was my brother had a 75 Nova, I think it was. And then later on, he bought a 76 Pontiac version, the Ventura. Same body style, basically. And both his cars they just had 6 cylinders in them. So anyways, these cars, everybody had them in one iteration or another. I know a friend of mine had one as a Buick, and a couple of friends had them as Pontiacs. And yeah, so that's what I was going to do. I was just going to leave it as a civilian model. So after I got all the police livery on it, like I said, it sat for a year, and I kept looking at it thinking something's missing, and that's when I decided to paint the wheels, spokes and the wheels blue, kind of tie it together, and then the B pillars, and then I went with the push bar. This push bar is also in this kit. So the kit bashed parts are the wheels, tires, and the engine transmission combination, and the headers. And everything else is in the kit. So, but yeah, I like the way it turned out. And it's amazing, just what a little color will do. I build fairly basic. I don't have a workspace like a lot of builders, so that's the idea I'm kind of going on right now, is building with basics. You buy some paint brushes and some paints and experiment, have fun with them. You never know what you're going to come up with. But yeah, I'm pleased with the way it turned out. Pretty simple interior. So yeah, don't be afraid to experiment, try different things with your models, have fun with them. Like I got back into the hobby during the pandemic, and upon returning to the hobby, I noticed a lot of changes, like with the 3D printed parts, and I was buying 3D printers. Now there's 3D printed kits, and yeah, the whole hobby has grown by leaps and bounds from when I left it 30 plus years ago. Now you have all these 3D parts, 3D printed kits. You have better quality paints, materials. So even to build a basic model now like this, you got better materials to work with. Paint quality is so much better than when I was building them 30 years ago. Excuse me. So yeah, so that's the backstory on this. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully I'll get some new builds up soon, weather permitting, because I do have to paint outside, and we're in the winter time now. So anyways, thanks for viewing, thanks for subscribing, and have a good rest of your day.